What's going on, Neo Barbarians? Alex from Inner War Strength here. One of the things you'll hear quite often from people is, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to do this or that. I'll give you an example. When I invited a friend of mine to start strength training to join my gym, he said, I don't know, man. I'm not ready to lift weights. I think I need to do some other stuff first. I'm like what? And he says, "Oh, I don't know, body weight stuff, functional training, things like that before I'm ready to start barbell training." Now, to anyone with half a brain, they would understand immediately that this is complete nonsense and complete bullshit. All right? Because the truth is, you will never be ready for anything. The fact is that life just happens and you need to adapt. And if you want to start strength training, you don't have to go through this rigmarole of, doing a bunch of other bullshit that's not strength training in order to get yourself ready to do actual strength training. That's like saying if you want to ride a bicycle, first you have to learn how to fucking ride a skateboard or something. It's a completely different skill set. It's completely irrelevant. No, if you want to ride a bicycle, what do? You ride a goddamn bicycle. And it's the same thing with anything you want to learn, and especially with training. If you want to learn how to, if you want to train yourself for strength, you start strength training, regardless of, what your previous training experience is. It's irrelevant. Now, you'll hear this about all kinds of stuff. I mean, I've even heard it from about in the context of like inner war, right? I've heard people, I've actually literally seen people comment things like, "Oh, I wish I was strong enough to wear your gear." Bro, really? How strong do you think you have to be before you're worthy of buying a hoodie like this? That's just ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying that having goals and having something to aspire to um, is not a good idea. Obviously, it absolutely is a good idea, and it is a good idea to aspire to things. But giving yourself this arbitrary limitation where you say, "Oh, I have to do at least this before I'm ready to take the next step," right? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just a cope. It's just a cope. It's just an excuse for cowardice at the end of the day. Sorry, that's just how it is. You're never going to be ready for anything, all right? You just have to roll with punches in life, all right? Now, some of you may not know, but I'm married and I have a son. But do you think I was ready to get married? Do you think one day I woke up and said, "You know something? Today's a great day to propose to my wife"? No, I was not ready. All right. I just did it anyway. And the same thing with having children. You think anybody who has children says, "You know something? I think we're at a point now where we're just about ready to have a child." No, ask anyone who has children and they'll tell you, "Man, you're not going to be ready for this shit. You're never going to be ready for this shit." And it's true. You're not going to be ready. If you could be ready for something, I mean, everyone would just know how to be a perfect parent. I mean, there's tons of parenting books out there and, relationship advice books and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's all bullshit because every case is different. Every person is different. Every child is different. And, there's no one size fits all rules to these things. Okay. And especially when it comes to things like, whatever it is. I mean, if you want to start a business, oh, I need to be ready. No, you don't. Maybe you need to have some startup capital or whatever. Maybe you need some money to get started. But beyond that, what do you need to be ready for? You need to be psychologically ready to start doing something. I'll give you another example. I don't know how long it's been now. I think it's been maybe 3 weeks that I've been doing these videos every day. You think I was ready to do these videos? You think I paired in a certain way? No, I just said, hey, you know what? I'm going to start doing some videos, and I'm going to try and do them every day, every weekday at least, and see what happens. All right. I wasn't ready. I'm just some dude sitting in front of a laptop camera. That's literally what's going on right now. You think I said, oh, to be ready, I need to buy a proper camera. Uh, I don't know the first thing about filming and video editing. Anything that you probably know more than I do. All right, like just like your average Instagrammer probably knows a lot more than I do about video editing and camera gear and all this stuff. I don't care. I'm not interested in learning any of this stuff. And to be honest with you, you know, I don't need to. You know, I'm perfectly content sitting in front of a laptop camera and just talking to you guys. And if you like it, great. That's great. If you don't, fine. That's perfect. That's perfectly okay. But I didn't sit down and say, oh, okay, I need to come up with a plan. So first thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to buy a camera. I need a tripod and I need some lights. I have some lights here, but they're just, lights that I have on my desk. Nothing special. They're not like, any professional lights or anything like that, professional filming lights or anything like that. It's just some nice ambient lighting that I have on my desk. Anyway, but yeah, I didn't sit down and like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make a set and everything. I'm literally sitting in my office right now and just filming and sitting in front of a camera. That's all I'm doing. Okay, and when I started Inner War as well, I didn't say, oh, I probably need to take 500 steps before I can go live. No, I had a bunch of designs ready. I uploaded them to my store, launched the store with 5 T-shirts. All right, I didn't say, oh, I need to have at least 50 designs before I get going. No, you start quick and dirty always, and then you iterate. All right, so forget about being ready. All right, forget about being ready. Just go for it. Okay, just take the first step. All right. Now, if anybody's worked in the tech industry or um, you know product industry, whatever it is, you'll be familiar with the term MVP, and I don't mean most valuable player in sports. Okay, I mean minimum viable product. Now, the minimum viable product is basically the minimum number of features that something's going to have for it to actually be functional and for people to want to use it, right? So just your whole life should be just MVPing everything. You know what I mean? So it should be just, I'm not really sure where this is going to go, but all right, let's take this first step and see what happens. Okay. And then you can iterate later on. And because coming up with whole plan about how you're going to do something, how about you're going to start your business and all this stuff leaves you inflexible for what happens later on in life. Okay. So I call that strategic living. So strategic living is rather than live with a certain plan in mind that, okay, in 5 years I want to be here and blah 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 blah. No, you live in a certain way where um, you live as if you're the person you want to be. Okay. And you take the first step and then you move from there. So if you think you're not ready to join a gym, or you're not ready to start strength training, or you're not ready to start that business that you wanted to start, or you're not ready to, take the next step in your relationship or whatever it is, you are ready. All right. Or maybe, you're not technically ready, whatever that means. I mean, what does it mean to be ready? You are ready. Just fucking go for it. And then you'll figure it out along the way. All right. Because the conditions are never going to be perfect for you to say, you know what, the time is right. Here's, you know, things are going to be perfect right now for me to do this thing, for me to start this business or take the next step in my career or take the next step in my training or whatever it is. Okay. So ignore this, forget about this I'm not ready bullshit and just execute. All right. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment, like and subscribe. Share this with your friends. Um, and most importantly, join the war against atrophy at innerwarstrength.co. And I will catch you in the next one.